All right, news on the go for you now. We spoke to you about the political parties and candidates who are expected to sign the Electoral Code of Conduct at the Gallagher Convention Centre. That's in Midrand today. It's an event being held by the IEC. In fact, a media briefing is now taking place. Let's listen in.
The President proclaims the election date, the Code of Conduct is applicable and then applicable to everybody in the country as well as leaders and supporters of political parties. So today, it's really to afford leaders of parties an opportunity to pledge their support to the code publicly and ensure that they work to educate their supporters, members, and everybody else to ensure that there's great observance of the Electoral Code of Conduct. The draw of the ballot paper helps us with the sequencing of political parties on the ballot. There's always the coveted position of that one party which will be drawn out of the box, and that will then allow us to have an alphabetical sequence from that first one that is drawn outside of the box. So it's almost the final step towards the ballot preparation. So on next week, on the 10th, we will publish the final list of political parties as well as the candidates that have met the requirements. A matter of interest for you is that today the Commission will be filing its answering papers in the Electoral Court related to the candidature of the S2 President. The Commission has maintained that it has acted within the purview of the law and the Constitution, and that there is nothing untoward with the manner in which was treated. However, we will submit that answering today, and will await the Electoral Court to determine how they prosecute the matter further. A majority of the leaders of political parties will be here. They have confirmed, and they'll be given an opportunity, 1 or so minutes, just to state the pledge. It's not an opportunity for them to canvass for votes. It's really for them to make a statement affirming their commitment towards the Code of Conduct. Thank you.
Thank you so much, CEO. That was just a quick overview for this morning's proceedings. As you may be aware that you've got the program on your phones on the media chat groups. So from here, we're going to go to the main hall where all the proceedings will take place. We are joined in this quick en route to the main hall by the commissioners of the Electoral Commission. The chairperson is on my extreme left, Tatemo Sotu, and then Judge Daya next to me, and then Dr. Masuku next to CEO, and Commissioner Mashenini next to to Dr. Masuku. These are all the commissioners of the Electoral Commission. So it's going to be a very long morning with engagements taking place. So with that, I'm not going to take questions as CEO, unless if there's an extremely burning question. If there's none, we're good.
No, we've answered them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Just one.
Exactly.
Just one.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, I'm sorry, it's Natasha Gray here from SABC News. Can I just please push my maybe just...
You're always pushing like
Okay. That I just mentioned, Ruti, the IEC will be filing its answering affidavit to the Electoral Court in regards to the MK Party's appeal. There's this notion party that the IEC prejudged Zuma's matter, as shown by a media report in which Commissioner Janet Love pronounced on the 24th of March that Zuma was ineligible to stand as a candidate prior to last week's briefing. And then furthermore, can you just please give us an indication as to how many political parties had probably lodged their appeals at the Electoral Court? Yeah.
Okay. Any other? That's the last one. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, if you don't mind, we will traverse that issue in the papers. We do not want to place that material here now, but in the afternoon we may be in a position, once we filed with the court, to give you some insights on that aspect. Tomorrow there are 6 applications that the Electoral Court will hear from 9:45 to 10. So they'll hear one after the other. They all relate largely to candidate nomination and the fact that people did not submit the original list. They only a compensatory list and so on. Some of them did not capture at all, and so on. So we've responded to all those matters, and we hope that the court will, after hearing them, to a judgment or at least an order quite expeditiously, because we want certainty to the extent that some of those applications on the of the ballot paper. So we really would love to be in a state of certainty insofar as their participation is concerned.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We're going to be setting up at the main hall. See you soon. Thank you.
All right, and there you have it, a brief but I think very succinct media briefing there from officials of the IEC, led in the main by the CEO, Simon Mabolo, who's already mentioned a few newsworthy things that I'm going to highlight for you. For one, we're only going to get a final ballot paper come the 10th of April. That makes sense, and we've always kind of known that if you're keeping up with the election timetable, the Electoral Court has until the 10th of April to deal with all the appeals around the objections that were raised now some 2 weeks ago. And of course, only after that outcome will we know finally what the ballot paper is going to look like. All indications, though, do suggest that we're still going to have an unprecedented number of political parties contesting the elections this year. 52 was the loose tentative number that were given by the IEC. It's likely to change after the 10th, of course, when those appeals have been heard. Simon Mabolo letting it slip there that there are 6 applications, so 6 different matters that are going to be dealt with by the Electoral Court. And he also mentioned that some of those outcomes will have a bearing on the ballot paper itself. We understand, of course, that the more, I suppose, salient matter is the one involving former President Jacob Zuma, who is pushing back against the objection that he be a candidate for the MK party. The organization, they're contesting that he's being found to be in contempt of court is not a criminal matter, but should be seen as a civil offense. And that's why I think sections 44 and 36 of the Constitution should not apply, which essentially say that if you've had a jail term of 12 months or more without the opportunity of a fine, then you can't appear, or rather, you can't be office bearer at least for 5 years after that ruling. So a number of developing stories, a number of moving parts, and as you can see, we're watching all of them for you here on the SABC News Channel.